Well, what is your name?
My name is Elisa Batista.
Elisa Batista. Okay, I'm the chat with Miss Hollywood. Miss Hollywood from the chat, Miss Hollywood. I wanted to ask you, you're speaking on behalf of victims. Cassie, are you speaking on behalf of yourself as well? Are you a victim?
I am. I am a survivor. I was assaulted on a college campus, and I didn't even, it's so interesting how trauma works, but it took me 20 years later when I was going through a divorce to process it. Like, it's so interesting. It came up, I was going through a divorce, and I remember telling a friend, you know, he was blocking the door, he wouldn't let me leave the room, and she was like, what are you talking about, love? And
so let me ask you this, because it's very ironic that you're saying what you're saying right now, because on my show last night, I talked about survivors and people who have experienced sexual assault. Okay, I am a victim of that myself, but I didn't come forward like, you know, right away. It was years.
yes, decades in my case.
Same, because I was a kid. Okay, but why? Can you just explain to people who have no clue what the hell is going on, why it may be that we don't come forward? Why don't people that have been abused sexually come forward right away?
For me, I think it was a survival mechanism. I came from a strict immigrant family. Was the first in my family to go to college. I went on this, college on a scholarship. And I remember after it happened, I was walking alone at like 2 in the morning back to my dorm room, and I remember thinking I could never tell my family because they would yank me out of school and tell me this is why women don't go by themselves to college. And I could see, and it would come from a good place, but my father would bust that guy's kneecaps, okay?
Yeah.
And I did not want that. So I think it was at the time a survival mechanism. I wanted to go to college. I was like, I'll just bury this.
Did you feel ashamed?
I did feel.
Did you feel
so
like it was your
deep
fault?
Shame. I did.
But why do we feel
I
ashamed
did.
when we didn't do it? Why? How is it that we're the victim but we feel ashamed? How does that work?
I
It's
know.
society that it's perpetrators who want to keep us silent. So
Right.
that's their way of trying to keep us
Are
silent.
you a victim?
Yes.
I'm sorry that you went through that. But you ladies, I would love to know, and if you could tell anybody else really quickly, how do you move forward in life? Because you have
Fights
to
like
move-
this for me.
This was, I have to say, I've been at my organization UltraViolet. You can see us at
she's
weareultraviolet.org.
Okay.
For over 5 years, and it was in the midst of my divorce, and I was actually able to process what happened to me doing this work.
Wow.
Showing up for other survivors,
Yes.
Hearing other stories, knowing this is so common, and the fact that we make survivors of sexual violence the ones being ashamed. That's why it's so devastating for me to hear people blaming the
Victim
men
shaming.
and women
There's no benefit
that
in coming forward.
testified.
Right.
There's no benefit in coming forward.
Right.
You only do it because your body and your life says you have to stay
Because you
alive.
can't move on if you don't. Honestly, you
exactly.
can't. Like, you just can't
I
move
can't
on.
imagine turning on the TV and seeing this man got away with all that.
What do you think the verdict's going to be? How are you feeling about the verdict? After they dropped they dropped some charges.
Well-
They dropped a few of the charges.
I'm also a Christian, and I just believe regardless of the verdict, we're not going anywhere.
Right.
Yes.
We are powerful. We will continue to show up for survivors. Our movement to disrupt sexual violence and rape culture continues regardless of this verdict.
True.
We are bigger and more powerful than this one man.